welcome.
Gracias.
Thank you for joining us at Museum of Graffiti. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you. We want to support young artists like yourself who've been in the culture and contributing. And so before we start, I want to let everybody know that you are in Argentina right now, but you live in Mexico, correct?
Yes,
okay.
That's correct.
All right, so I want to flip my screen so I can read your bio, or just a brief bio on you, so people get to know who you are a little bit. Like I was saying, Memex was born in Buenos Aires, and she's been drawing since she was a child, but started to make graffiti in the streets in 2006. It was when she was born that her grandmother gave her the nickname Meme, and she's always been interested in, painting. Yes, and you've been interested in painting and plastic arts in classes in primary school. But in 2005, more or less, she entered the graffiti movement in Buenos Aires, and that's when she had first contact with graffiti. In 2013, she traveled to Rio de Janeiro with Vivi Cabron, and she lived there for 4 years and got to know the culture and the many artists that painted graffiti there. And she noticed that they were using characters to identify themselves, not just tags, letters, or pieces. Later on in 2016, she travels to Mexico City, where she now lives, and she met Vivi Cabron there, and they both focused on defining their styles and perfecting their techniques, since everything they've done up to this point was self-taught. Notably, her images are of nature and exotic species, which she reimagines in her distinct color palette. She had been invited to the meeting of styles in Bolivia, Colombia, and Costa Rica, and has participated in projects against bullying and other social movements. In Mexico City, she reinforces her efforts to bring nature to the city, and together with Vivi Cabron, put together projects at designing interiors for restaurants and various businesses. Today, she continues to look for projects that will take her to other parts of the world to paint, and so she can get to know other cultures and places, ultimately creating large public murals. Meme, fantastic. I am excited about this conversation because you cover 2 countries in Latin America that are very interesting and have a big history in art. Argentina, which you were born, and Mexico City, where you live. But I want to go back to Argentina and talk about the early days of when you discovered graffiti and hip hop culture.
When I started to make, I drawing all my life, right? Was a child. I drawing with the names of my friends in my books, my names all the time, like in like bombs, you know. But when I meet, like, I don't know when the year exactly, but I know a Paul Corona, I know other guys, other friends who make graffiti too, and I going with there to painting. So I started to paint too, like day by day, and I write my name Meme because it's the name of my name is Melanie, and the name of my grandma give me it's Meme because my sister is Ludmila and she's Lulu and I am Meme. When I started with making illegal graffiti like tags in the city. I go out with my friends to take party, and then we go out to paint in the city. So I'm starting that way, but I'm driving always.
And in Argentina,
Like
a question for you. In Argentina, who were the pioneers? Did you get to meet some of the pioneering graffiti artists? Were you writing with them?
Not really. I know Pelado was a graffiti artist who's recognized today, and had others, Sead, have Dame, other skins of graffiti. But I started later of him, like He started in 19th and I started in 206, I know. So the graffiti in Argentina, it's in the streets. I see when I go to school. So I started that way. I'm painting with Past to Bedo's crew, and with Brooklyn, with Sower, and they are activists, active painter graffiti illegal in other, all the cities. So I see that graffiti and I want to make too. I'm going out with him. So I started that way, but day by day. I
Did you go
really
to,
not now too much about graffiti outside of South America in
did you
that
go to
time.
did you go to art school by any chance?
No, no, never. I started drawing, draw, and I do what I do now.
So you weren't influenced by New York City at all, or America?
No, not really. I see graffiti of United States, but no, not really influenced me to paint graffiti. I
What?
started because my friend painting. I go into the parties underground and have graffiti. My friends making tags with a pen. So I started to put my name, Meme STP, Meme STP.
Tell us
Then
what.
when I go to Brazil, let me.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, ask you. I'm sorry to interrupt, but tell us what STP means.
STP is in Spanish, somos todas pibas. It's like we are all girls. We are fives. Vivi Cabrón, Harder, Maldita Carmen, Fabs, y Sky. Maldita Carmen is from Mexico. Fab is from New Jersey and from Ecuador too. And Vivi Cabrón and I am from Argentina. And
And so
started
why?
because we are friends. Tell me.
Yeah, please go ahead.
We started because we are friends and we go to party and I have a friendship. So we started a crew, all women. So no, it's not reference or have a crew, women or men's crew. We are only that. And we painted together, started to make STP for the city. So the crew is really for friendship, not for graffiti real, you know.
So
Like have one of these girls, Sky, don't paint it anymore, but she's still to the crew.
so Argentina has a rich history of political murals, and it has a graffiti history. Um, has that influenced you at all to do political graffiti, or were you just a straight graffiti bomber?
No, I never make political graffiti. I only make graffiti like my name and the name of my crew. So no, political no. I remember like names of governments, like vote for in that time, but no, not really inspired me to graffiti.
So given the political climate in Argentina, isn't it a great risk to go out and write your name on walls and trains?
Yes, it's risks in I think all the part of the world, but in Europe, I think you pay multa. I don't know how to say,
Yeah, yeah.
and
You
it's
pay a
okay. But
fine.
in Argentina, you need to run, or yes, in Mexico you can pay to the police sometimes, no always. But in Argentina, when I started to painting, we run. One time we passed, we painted a train of Parque Diversiones. I don't remember how do you say. And the police come and like people shoots, da, 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 and we run 20 minutes, don't stop, and we go back to take the spray, and the police is there too, and tan, 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 and we go out in the time. It's funny, but it's dangerous too, and that's what I like to painting illegal graffiti. The experience, the feeling you have when you painting illegal. You need to see the police don't come or you stay out. So
But doesn't it worry you that they have
no,
like a shoot to kill policy for graffiti?
what?
Does it worry you that they have a shoot to kill policy that they could kill you and get away with it?
In that time, no, I have 16. I don't think about that. I want to paint the risk. Now maybe I think twice, but the same time no, because I don't know. You stay with the paint there, and it's all too quickly to go out, so you don't think about that. You go out, you run, whatever you want to do. So now, in that time, no. Now maybe a little bit more.
Yes. I
Yes.
see, for instance, in the pictures that you sent me, and your early graffiti. Excuse me. In your early graffiti, there are no characters. There's just, you're just a bomber. You just like getting your name up.
Yes.
You're not interested in art. It doesn't seem like you're interested in murals. And here you sent me a picture. You sent me a picture of
Yes.
you hitting the trains. How often were you riding on trains? How big was the movement of train riding in Argentina when you were young?
Have a lot of trains painting. A lot, like in that photo, have but have a lot of trains in Buenos Aires. Have a porno too. Other friends have sober, have a whole train, whole car of the subways. In that picture, have a Beck. It's a woman too, who have a whole car with her name. She's a little person with a whole train. And yes, in that time, in 2007, 8, 2010, I don't remember. All the graffiti writers painting trains. All. It's like all the time. In Argentina you say spots to painting. You down to subway and paint, but maybe you go to paint and have 3 or 4 more guys painting too in the same time. So today don't have because the governments don't like, obviously, but in that time I see a lot of train painting. So I like it. And Paz, my friend, have a lot too, because I paint with him. And I'm going with him to searching trains. She say, Meme, we have a train tonight. You want to come? Yes, I go. I want to paint a lot of train, but at the same time I can't because of police, because a train don't come, and other things.
So given how things are changing in Argentina, you go to Mexico. And here we have this picture of you painting in Mexico. You're putting up your crew, STP. Tell me what that was like for you. What did you find in Mexico that you didn't find in Argentina, in the culture? How different were they?
In Mexico, for started, Mexico is a mural city. It's like you have graffiti, you have murals everywhere. I have a paste up too, like Maldita Carmen, that's my crew. But I love paste up in the city a lot. And what I see in Mexico, the first I see is in Brazil, because when the time I'm going to Brazil, in Argentina don't have a lot of murals of graffiti. In Mexico have Villa Sound. So The pichação is in everywhere. And the graffiti in Rio de Janeiro, that's where I live in that make me want to make no have a guys with they know make attack. They make a character. Like I put memex, they put beards. Like so I see that and I think I can make more characters with my letters or make my designs. That's what I think when I go into Rio de Janeiro. When I go to Mexico 4 years before, I see the graffiti, the murals. Fantastic. So I think I want to do that. And I make animals. I make flora and fauna. So I want to make better that they show the movement, show the things the natural birds or animals have to show for the people and maybe don't can see because living in a city, but when I live in Brazil, I see that natural, like always when I go into a island, when I go into a waterfall. In Brazil, the nature is so strong, so I want to put that strongest in the city.
Yeah, you could see that it starts rubbing off on you, both in color and in your later work. As you start, you were talking about the effect of traveling through Latin America and how it influences the artwork, not the graffiti itself. It influences you as an artist, as a person, as a human being, and connecting you to nature. It's interesting because that's a theme that I've been seeing for years in terms of some of the Latin American artists, unlike the Americans, where Americans tend to kind of lean towards pop art and things that they've seen in advertising or on TV, whereas Latin American artists are looking at nature, looking at history, right? You get somebody like Sainer in Mexico does beautiful work, that has historical context, right? But as you said, the fauna and the nature is starting to show up in your work. So tell me about this process of well, let me just go back because one of the things that again, this is your partner painting.
Vivi.
Yeah, and you said this was one of your first early paintings. Tell me about this change all of a sudden.
No, that one is the last one painting I did with she.
Ah, okay.
That is from Mexico. But the first I paint with Vivi Cabron. It's in Buenos Aires. We painted Vivi Cabron and Meme. And when I living in Brazil, we started to make more drawing, and the colors what I use when I draw is like what I see. I don't study anything, so I mix the colors when I think it's okay, right? So in this, you showed a photo so with Vivi Cabron, we painted boats in Paraty.
Yes, I want to know more about that.
When?
Tell me more about this project. This was actually very interesting.
When we go into Paraty, it's in Rio de Janeiro, in Costa Verde. It's a historic city. It's a small city. So when we start to paint, I make attacks in the city, and the people of there told me, "You painting there and in 2 days?" Like, what? How do you know I painted that? Because it's small. So we stopped to paint it walls for start to paint it boats for make money, right? And it's what's funny because in that boat when we paint it's all boys, and when we go, he said like, "No, 2 girls for painting boat? Are you crazy?" Yeah, I need money, please. He got okay. So you clean the boats and then you lijar, I don't know how to say, the boat, and then you can paint. So in the first day, when we clean all the boats, then we painting with synthetic paints. So it's like with andaime too, and not what easy, but what funny. And that boat is in the favela of Paraty. So two women, young women, enter to the favela for make money for painting boats. It's what funny.
What,
At the same time, the guy tell me, you can paint boats. Why I can paint? I can clean. I can paint the same way you do. And the second day we go and the same guys like, Argentina, welcome. Like, we can paint.
yeah.
That's what
Isn't it
funny.
interesting when you travel, how art gives you a passport into communities, even to dangerous communities, right? When you, as an art is a way into people's lives, even in the toughest communities.
I'm living in a favela of Rio de Janeiro 6 months, painting a hotel with my friend Brooke. And it's what's funny. I don't scare because it's the same. Don't take risks because send weed, send drugs, but we are the same. Like I remember the first time I stayed in the hotel painting alone, the favela because Brooklyn going to tattoo, and the guys who send drugs in that way come here and yeah girl, you want to a beer? You are okay? You need to help? So I say no, it's okay. I'm with a stair painting the second floor and make a ¿cómo se dice? Asado, churrasco.
Yeah, food.
When you put ¿cómo?
Una comida, a food.
Sí, a food, right? For me and my partner, so I don't feel risk. I like it.
So the influence
Living in a favela.
the influence of living in these rich cultures obviously is starting to take an effect and change the work that you decided to do after graffiti or during graffiti, because you're still, from what you say, you're still painting these beautiful paintings, but also you're still bombing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I started to painting animals because I like it. What I'm living in Paraty. The Paraty have an island, a waterfalls, and beach. So I think that me inspire me to paint animals. I like the move, the force, to show that, and I try to because my name is Meme, Meme, so all the time Meme, and want to try other things to move my hands to drawing. So I think for that way I started to painting other things, and I like it too. I like it to see what I drawing and see maybe I have a picture to reference and see if it's like similar or not, because like I don't study, so all the things I do always is new for me. The colors, the movements, the face, the all the time, and I don't have a good memory too. So when I start a new mural or a new drawing like these ones, I started like zero always.
One of the things that I like in
Um,
this, one of the things I like, Meme, in this story is how a young artist starts with the idea that their name is important to them, so important that they have to paint it everywhere, and they have to practice and get good at painting because they're part of a writing community. And as you're painting, you're getting better artistically, right? You don't know where you're going to end up. You're obviously in the early paintings, there was nothing to suggest that you would be making these beautiful paintings, these beautiful murals, but it would give you the skills, right? It gave you the technical skills.
I don't understand, sorry,
So
the answer.
no, and that's not an answer, it's an observation about how writing helped you develop your artistic skills.
How I take that skills?
Yes.
Drawing all day. Take pictures for see other artists, my friends painting too. So I go in with him or she to paint, and I stayed with the mural, like looking the way he used the spray. But because you no use the spray always like this, maybe it's like this, or wait, like see when you are front of the wall, you see that way that the paint, and when you go out you see the other way. So I think in that way, drawing all days, take pictures, and draw, and try to copy, no copy because it's different, but like similar, and then put my colors behind, like flowers or backgrounds, different colors, and maybe in the same time don't put the same color of the picture, like flowing, right, with the what I have in my mind. So it's that. That mural. It's in Mexico with
Yeah.
Bibi Cabron. In
Lo que
that
me
mural,
fascina,
what? Again, tell
yes.
me.
No, lo que me fascina,
That mural. Tell me. Sorry.
no, what fascinates me is the natural process for you, that you're a self-taught artist, like many graffiti artists, but it's interesting because you are not looking at a book of art history. I don't know if you go to museums to look at art, but it almost seems like this is a whole, this is a different natural talent that you're presenting to us.
I think that is what, because I'm living in Paraty. Paraty is a beach city, so I'm in contact all the time with that natural. And when I go into like support, I live in all my life in Buenos Aires. It's a city. Then I'm going to live in Paraty. So that feeling, that message the nature give me, so I want to put in a city because I don't know how I say, explain the movement of make in me that show that force that is always saying I say the thing the force
You,
the I think it's that like
Meme, you could
inspiring
also
me
speak to me a
move
bit in
from.
Spanish and I'll translate.
¿Te hablo en español?
Te puedo,
Que yo-
un poco, I can translate a little bit if you get stuck.
bueno, vamos a cambiar a español un poco. Que lo que creo es que cuando vivía en Paraty, al estar en contacto constante con la naturaleza, fue lo que me influenció a mí de salir de las letras a entrar a dibujar animales. ¿Por qué? Porque la fuerza y como es ese estado que uno está cuando está en la playa o cuando está en medio del mato, porque Brasil es mato, es playa con mucha naturaleza, así pesada, islas, tenés caminos de pura selva, ese contacto que yo tuve, yo creo que fue lo que me incentivó a demostrar esto en los muros, lo que
Yeah.
yo siento.
So in a rough translation, being in Brazil, in Paraty, and getting closer to the natural world influenced your work, and moving away from just letters to something profound that moved you inside, which was nature. And that is showing in all the murals and all the work that starts to happen. But also, you start thinking about art differently. You start making commercial projects for yourself.
I started to make t-shirts because my friend asked me make a t-shirt, and so I started to make that. I'm drawing freedom time, and the other said my tank is full on when I put in paint. Put paint.
Yes.
Like my head always have paint. Is that way? I'm started because I want to send for my friends. I don't think like I send in for the world. I don't know. To only for my friends have a thing for me, make for me like a design or surfboard too. In Paraty have a lot of surf, so I started to paint in surfboard too. For my friends, he made surf to say, oh, paint my surfboard. Okay, I paint it. I pay you. Okay, and that's it. All the things I do is always natural. No, like I want to make a T-shirt for that. No, or make like in that
So,
way. I
so,
don't
but
think a lot too much.
Meme, so now that your painting skills are getting better, you are looking for projects, you're doing commercial projects, you're painting restaurants, and now you're becoming a professional artist.
Mm-mm. I don't think like I want to be a professional artist. I want to paint all my life. What I can paint in different ways, different states, different countries, and do what I like to do all the time. I like to paint. I want all the. I'm like to driving all the time. I like to experiment other techniques too. I like to paint in acrylics. I love the spray, obviously, but when I started to paint animals, I started to paint birds because the movements. I think I like it. In Brazil, have a lot of papagayos. Is that bird? So I like the colors. I like the moves. I like the simple of birds. They are simples, and they need to be free to anyone to make have a bird in jail. I think now in the coronavirus, this time in the world, a lot of people think like, "Whoa, we can't go out, we can't do anything. Look the bird in their shell and let people let fly,
One of
please."
the one of the things, Meme, you told me that was really interesting because I thought these birds existed in nature, and they do exist in nature, but they exist in nature in a very different color.
Yes. Yes, because maybe that beer is brown and blue, I think. But I like colors like stronger colors, like orange with blue, yellow with violet. I like to contrast, like full color. Sometimes I don't want full colors, but when I put in front of wall and I started to painting, maybe I have that colors, and at the same time maybe I want to it's natural. Like I put that the blue and then the orange is like yeah, it's cool. I don't see the colors is okay or not. I don't know how to say the cronograma de colores. I think it's the name.
Yeah.
It's like I put strong colors always. Maybe in sometimes I put that colors when I go back. I find oh I don't want that full color, but at the same time I like so it's natural too.
Meme, one of the
All
things
I do.
one of the things I love about these paintings is that uh, it's representative of Latin America, the vibrant colors of Latin America, the energy of Latin America, the dynamic movement of Latin America, and it's quite beautiful. And I like that you are reimagining the birds in these exotic colors.
Yes, Latin America, like Bolivia, when I go into Bolivia, Colombia too, Brazil have a full color in the way he the clothes, the the walls, the favelas too have a lot of paints of full color, the beers, the natural in all these colors too. So I like it.
So,
I like to
so
represent that powerful.
Mehmet, so now that you're becoming very good painter of these natural elements, both nature and trees and fauna, is that crossing over into your graffiti style lettering and murals?
I want to try to make graffiti with that colors. Really, I'm starting with make meme in Argentina, but when I go into Brazil, I want to change that what I say. So I don't started to make graffiti, so involvement in the letters of the graffiti. So I see my friend like, wow, that letter was amazing, and my letter no was so good. Now I have a challenge with one Chaos, my friend, and he make me to do a abecedario, and I say, but I don't make a lot of letters, so I put in a drive, and I like it, but really, letters is not my force. I like my to draw animals and other things. But now that I take other things like drawing all the time, and in this time to coronavirus we can't go out, so I draw all the time. I meet more the letters to make better memes, or I make the name Mexico too. So I need to be better in the letters.
Are you,
I don't be
but are
too
you still
clever.
going out on bombing missions? Do you still go out tagging up in Mexico?
Yes, I'm going out in Mexico with make illegal graffiti too, with my boyfriend and with my friends. My boyfriend is Nutter in Mexico. He is a bomber, illegal strong there. He have a lot of graffiti and rooftop and not subway, but the other things. All in the street you see Nutter and everywhere. So I go out with him, and he say I go in painting, going and going with him. I started painting illegal too, because in Paraty we can paint illegal. Only in São Paulo we make illegal, obviously in Rio too, but in Mexico, like I not forget because it's part of me, but I'm making more murals, and then I go back to make graffiti, real graffiti. Graffiti is illegal and it's letters. It's no way. So I started to make more with BB Cabron too in Mexico City, to start make more letters and meme and tagging. I always tagging. I don't stop to tagging.
Why is that?
But in
Like, because for instance, Mehmet, you have these. I'm looking at these pictures of you painting two giant murals, and you know you could be painting and showing in galleries. Why do you still write graffiti?
¿Por qué elegí este graffiti?
Sí,
No entendí.
sí, exacto.
¿Por qué elegí pintar estos dos? ¿O por qué elegí pintar más
Okay,
esto que graffiti?
let me say this. You're painting these beautiful paintings, and you could be showing them in galleries and making money. Why are you still writing graffiti on the streets? What is it about writing graffiti that keeps you interested?
Ah, okay. Because I like it. I like it, the movement of the graffiti. I like it. Put me in the street when with nobody stay there, and it's the feeling. I don't know how I say the feeling when you painting illegal graffiti. The adrenaline.
Yeah, the
Is that
adrenaline.
what I like? Yes, is that what I like? Like you make quickly, like makes in big uh, the big way. So I like it that because we make graffiti with a mural, legal mural, but it's not the same. Like you make a here painting, looking, painting, and the police come in, you can to run and run. I don't know. The adrenaline is what I like it. Really.
So now this mural that you painted of the gorilla, this was this year. Was this before Corona or during Corona?
Before Corona. That was in Janeiro, I think. That was for my friend have a jiu-jitsu, no, boxing local. So he wants a gorilla, and I make it that with that strong, like he maybe like fighting or to start to fight. So what's funny because in Argentina don't have in Mexico you have a lot of spray like Montana 360 and others. You can buy. You have a lot of colors you can take. And in Argentina, no, the spray is so expensive. The paint is so expensive. The caps are crazy, too expensive.
Can't you steal
So
it?
I take the like spray a cap you buy in Mexico for 3 pesos, and he for 15 pesos. O sea, it's too expensive. I think because the paint is so cara, expensive, you can paint in. No, you can paint, you can make illegal, you can make whatever you want to do with spray because it's expensive, a lot expensive. You
It,
don't, you can. So I take the black, white, and gray to make better because no have
it,
colors in the Montana shop now in the shop of graffiti. I go and
Meme,
have two green, blah blah. Tell me.
when you were younger, I mean, did you guys not steal your spray paint?
When I'm younger, I'm working for buy my spray. All thing. I started work in a restaurant when I have 16, so I have money. My mom say it's time to go to work, so I living with my mom when I have 16. So I have money and I buy all uh, drinks because I'm younger. I want to go to party. I can buy spray or my friends steal sprays too. But I really, I don't never steal spray that I remember for paint. And the same time, if I don't have black, my friend have, so we change, and it's that way always in the graffiti. In Mexico, I have that colors, and my friends have other colors. So if I have black, he needs red, I give you red, and he give me black, and it's like friendships, como compartir
No,
lo que tenemos.
it's
Lo que
very
tiene
important.
graffiti.
When I was
Compartir el
younger,
momento.
yeah.
Tell me.
No, when I was younger, we couldn't afford to buy spray paint. We had to steal everything. It was we were so poor.
Claro. No, I don't want. I don't be a rich, but my mom told me go to work. Okay, I go to work. Eh, we don't need to pay a lot of things in my house to live. So I love a little bit of part of my work. I going to paint my sprays.
What
But
did
I
your
know
mother
it's
think?
no easy. Not everybody have the money for buy spray, and still it's okay for me.
Yeah. What did your mother think of you
I
doing
paint it
graffiti?
still.
To mama, what
What?
did she think of you doing
My
graffiti?
mom in the first, she's told me, "Meme, don't do that." In the first time, when I go to Brazil. I told for she I'm going to try to paint in other things there. So my mom is okay. Now she say, go in, you can do it. Don't forget where you are. And my mom is okay. But when I paint in trains, she don't like it a lot. But my mom always be with me. Like, okay, if you want to do, do. But take care, please.
Yeah.
And that's
I have,
when I fix
Meme,
him.
Meme, if you could hear me, I have bad reception. I'm gonna log off and bring you back on, okay? So you're gonna
Okay.
lose me for a second. I'm gonna bring you back on. Hola, hi, Meme. This is much better.
Hola, sí. Okay.
So one of the things that one of the things that I was fascinated with about your story is, of course, of the transition from a graffiti writer into a fully realized painter, and that you have this natural talent, this gift that you discovered through graffiti. And I think a lot of
Yes.
people, a lot of painters and young kids can say that, you know, graffiti helped them become artists in some form of fashion. What do you feel you've gotten out of graffiti in your life?
The graffiti give me a lot of experience with like share with other people, painting, no take risk. Like like the mural that you show other, we painting and one guy tried to steal us. I have a lot of experience, like be a woman in a world man, like graffiti too. Maybe one time when I be in a festival, one guy told me, if you wanna be part of this, you need to be with me. And I say, what? Like what? I I gonna be with you for be part of the festival? Are you crazy? One of the things, the risk, and the graffiti too let me travel to the world, the South America, from the Brazil, Mexico, know others graffiti artists too, like now are my friends. I know people that I think that no, it's not like good people. You know, when you see someone and think that person, and when I know that person, I think like, wow, you are a really good person. I don't
Beautiful.
know, see, I explained the right things, but uh, traveling, go to Bolivia, I'm going to Costa Rica for graffiti. I'm staying in Costa Rica in the house of Mush. Mush is a graffiti writer from Costa Rica, King. So I meet her in Costa Rica. I'm painting with him too. And Bolivia, I meet all others graffiti writers too. And that is people like friends I know by the graffiti, with the
It's a
graffiti.
it's a
And I
global
know other
community.
projects.
It's a global
We
community,
all,
right?
that's
It's a
right.
global
You
family,
know,
and
global family.
I'm glad I met you and recognized your work, and that I could share that with my audience, so they can understand a couple things. Uh, you know, a little bit about what's happening in South America, both in Argentina and Mexico, but also how a young woman finds her talent through graffiti, and creates such beautiful work. Again, you discovered a natural talent. Many of the artists I come across too, you know, that some of them like, look, I'm going to museums, or I pick up a book, or I saw Style Wars or Subway Art. You're so removed from all of that. You're connected to the natural world, and you're connected to the community and the people around you in that community. And that's really disconnected from the story of New York City's subway trains. So it's a pleasure to have met you and shared your work. In the last few minutes, I want to ask my audience if they have any questions for Meme. Please do ask them. Give her a shout out. Let her know whether you like her work or not. You know, somebody here at Bella Machina says, what a transition from where I left off in the interview. Because I guess he saw the early part of the interview, and now he's seeing how good of an artist you've become. It is a beautiful, again, you know, when you start in the beginning, just like many of the artists that I've interviewed, you start one way, and it's amazing what can happen in a few years.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what you're living it. Well, nobody's asking questions. So, Meme, I want to really thank you so much, you know, for spending the time with me. Here, All Natural asks a question. What do you like most about painting flowers and things in nature?
What I like more,
Most.
that's what I say, painting, take the nature to the city, like you have a gray wall and put that trunk, that bird, that animal, and when you see in the city, you can see a little bit of nature in your day by day. So I think that is good, because I saw others murals, and make me think sometimes. Like maybe if you see a bird flying in a wall, you think, well, that's what I say. You have your bird in a shell, and you say, no, you must to be free, and you let be free.
Right. So it gives you, you're giving these messages
A
to
little bit
us.
conscious.
Yes,
A little
exactly.
bit,
You're giving us.
maybe.
Lost in the Day asks, how did you decide that you wanted to start graffiti?
When I'm young, I'm studying because my friend made graffiti, and I'm going with him to make a paint train, painting walls. So I'm sitting in front to see what they do. And one day I say, I want to do this. I take my spray. I'm going to I'm doing my first meme. Then I going make meme, STP meme, and flowing by the time.
Of all the things a young girl wants to be, right? I don't want to be a princess. I want to be a graffiti writer.
Yeah.
So listen, I want to thank you again as I close out. Saludo, un abrazo, and we'll keep our eye on you. And of course, folks, if you want to see more of her work on Instagram, go to meme.stp. Okay, meme.stp. So check her out, give her a shout out, give her a like or a follow. Meme, thank you so much for being a part of this culture. And we look forward to seeing more of your work in the future.
Thank you, Carlos, for all the interview and for the patience to my Spanglish.
Hey, I suffer with it too, and I'm here in Miami. Muy bien. So, folks, tomorrow I have my day off, so we're not going to have an interview tomorrow. And so I want to thank you all for being so patient with us this week, because we had a really busy week. We had a lot of really good artists joining us, but I'm super excited to say that Saturday we have Dr. Dax from Atlanta joining us. Meme, you should check him out. He is crazy funky. He's a great artist, real personality. Dr. Dax, a legend from Atlanta. So again, folks, join us on Saturday. We'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But also, if you're in Miami, come visit the museum. We are open. Just make sure you get your tickets in advance. Go online, go to museumofgraffiti.com to find out what the rules are, because we are more concerned about you and your safety than anything. But we want you to explore the museum and learn and enjoy and celebrate the culture. And if you can't come into the museum, know that we have murals on the outside of the museum that were commissioned by a lot of great artists. So
I see that.
yeah, it's fantastic. So hopefully one day you'll visit us here in Miami, Meme, and we'll see you then, hopefully. All right, everybody, good night. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you guys
on
Saturday. Ciao.
Ciao, thank you.